What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. If you deposit $2,000 more, you're guaranteed 40. The offer ends very soon, in just about 2 weeks from now. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. So the market's holding support very nicely, at least so far. But the issue is that we are technically just shuffling and we are range bound for the time being when you look at SPY, Tesla, and the others. So we got these manufacturing numbers. Everything was very close to expectations. Manufacturing PMI at the 9:45 a.m. released. This release was basically showing us that things are decent, and then everything else was very close to expectations. Manufacturing employment was decent for November, and the new orders were okay. And we saw prices also dipping a little bit, so not too bad. So this is a good piece of news, and that's the reason why the market's holding up. Looking at SPY thus far, we're doing a good job at holding up, but just know this: we have this range to watch for. So what's essentially happening to SPY is we have this resistance very close to 603.5. If this breaks, we're looking for 604. Then 605 is our targets. And our main support is currently around 602.5, around that area. If that fails us, we could be looking for 601.5 as our next potential target. But otherwise, SPY remains range bound. That's all we're doing, at least thus far. Even though I would say this trend does favor bulls a bit more because we are still holding our 30 minutes 20 EMA quite nicely. I do want to warn you guys to be careful with this range because what's happening is they're shuffling the markets. The market's shuffling and they're hurting premiums. So if you're holding options, be careful. But just know that as of right now, we do favor bulls a little bit more after the data has come out. We got a small dip only to get bought back up. This could push higher, but just be careful with this resistance. Just know so far the market's range bound. The same thing could be said about ES. We pumped and dumped, pumped and dumped, pumped and dumped. 6,060 to 6,048 tends to be the range as we're going back and forth and back and forth. Now, there is more upside potential for 6,080 if we manage to break out of this, but otherwise, we are just range bound going back and forth between supply and demand. There's not really much else to say. We're just stuck for now. For Nvidia, we're doing a good job. So we dipped a little bit during the pre-market, got bought back up. We were calling 140 as a potential target. We did hit that for Nvidia. And if you look at this, we have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure on the 30 minutes time frame. So this does favor upside a bit more for the stock, and we could be looking for essentially 142 very soon. Now, as long as we don't lose 138, I think we favor 140 than 142 soon. So Nvidia is doing a good job. It is shuffling right now between 138 and 140, but there is some upside potential for later. Bitcoin looks more bullish on the 30 minutes time frame, getting a nice bounce right here. We were looking a little bit weaker in the morning, but now we're getting bought back up. So we bounced, and I did call out the inverse or like the head and shoulders right over here, which led to some downside. We got this downside move on Bitcoin only to get bought back up. So we're gonna be looking for a test of 98,000 very soon. What else is very interesting is Tesla's kind of like range bound right here. So what I mean is we have tough resistance at 360. As we hit 360, we tend to reject. And around the 350 area, we tend to get bought back up. So we hit this resistance, came back down. If we end up losing 350, we're looking for essentially this gap fill. Otherwise, Tesla's just stuck between 350 and 358. It's still trading sideways as I speak. For NQ, we're more bullish than bearish. We got a nice breakout. We're looking for 21,200 as resistance. If we break that, we're looking for essentially a test up near all-time highs, near 21,265, or even above that. So there is more potential. Look for a test of 21,200 as we look more bullish. QQQ is more bullish as well. We're looking for 515 as our resistance. If that breaks, we're going to break out even more, but I see some more upside potential in this nonetheless. For Apple, we look more bullish, but just know this: we have 240 is a very tough resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 242. And if that fails us, we're looking for 238. Overall, Apple's looking bullish. It's doing a good job at holding up. So let's hope this continues to push. Overall, it's doing a good job. MSTR is just trading flat right here. We have 400 as the main resistance. Our support's at 380, so we're trading sideways between that range. We need to get back above 400 to remain bullish. Otherwise, we just continue to consolidate. The IWM is very flat between 240 as support and 244 as resistance. It's been going back and forth for now, so it's just range bound. So we'll have to give that some more time. For coin, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose 305, we're looking for a push all the way up for this 315 area as we look more, we have more potential. Amazon had 212 as resistance and 210 as our main support. Overall, this has potential to push higher as long as we don't lose 210. This could be on its way up to higher levels like 214 if we break past 212. Meta pumped very nicely since resistance at 590. We'll have to see if we hold above that. It looks very strong here, so it could be trying to break 590 to push for 593. So I have to give that some more time. Microsoft looks more bullish. We could be looking for essentially 435 if this continues. And Google could also continue for 174 as long as we're above 172.5. Overall, the market is a bit more bullish than bearish, but there is an issue, which is the fact that we're at some tough resistance and the market's kind of shuffling for now. So, despite the fact that there is a bullish trend, the market's fighting some tough resistance and we're very much just shuffling right now, essentially. So, that's all we're essentially doing. We'll see if the levels I call out end up breaking or not. Otherwise, we just remain range bound. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. And peace out.